on deck, but VP notably, but they got to find a way to start putting wins on the board. I'm a little worried about their confidence coming into this series, but we'll see VP perform.
I mean, this group's really hard.
They got to find a way.
It seems based on the... I guess if
they got to find a way to start putting wins on the board. I'm a little worried about their confidence.
Like, they still have to play EG, for example, and Planet Odd here. So it's really tough for Clutch gamers. Especially because they lost to IG as well.
So let's turn our attention to the draft, Kevin, shall we? It is underway.
Only one pick. Me and Odie usually wait until halfway through till we flip the overlays. Are you sure you want to cover this already?
We can start chatting a bit about it. Okay. Planet Odd with some... I mean, surely you have something to talk about.
A tree. Yeah. Good old tree.
Yeah, the tree pick, pretty standard stuff. Planet Odd with the very targeted bans here, removing the off-lane Omni, which Clutch gamers were running a lot in the qualifiers to get to many of these big lands. Of course, very known for their IO pick. And for Clutch, they ban out the Razor, which we've seen a handful of times already. I think once for Wii, twice for Resolution, I want to say.
Okay, so it's one of their preferred heroes, because I haven't caught Odd Gamers this tournament yet.
Yeah, they've been drafting a little bit all over the place. Like, it doesn't seem like they really have a very well-defined style, and still kind of figuring out the patch.
Naming style or hero pick style?
Oh, no, both, really. Okay. They don't have really much. They're odd. You know, it's in the name.
True.
So they go for the Rubik first phase, too.
I'm not sold on Rubik right now. I think he's situationally very good, but I've seen a lot of games where he just fell flat. Like, weak damage. I feel like you need heroes that are pretty much strong at all stages of the game right now. I don't think you can really grab somebody and have it not have a good output just yet.
Yeah, like you said,
at the start at least.
Weak damage output, and unless you have like an amazing array of spells to steal or Nell feels especially strong, then it can feel very underwhelming. They do have Tree already, though, so that at least gives you that like strong lane controlling support. So you can maybe get away with being a bit greedier with your second.
Yeah, could. Interestingly, they've picked Razor twice on Planet Odd. 0% win rate, though.
Yes, they tried it once with Rezo, I believe, once with Wii. Didn't work.
I guess they've lost quite a few games, so I suppose that doesn't really mean that much.
Somewhere, Statsman Nahaz is...
Small sample size, please. Please.
Cringing. Slark will get interestingly banned out here.
It's good against Living Armor is probably why. Very good against that. Will they ban... No, they don't have to ban Darkseer. They could ban Darkseer. I mean, Nick Assassin's been... I've seen him played as like 4 and offlane as well. Could go both ways.
For Planet Odd, they do seem to like these like more pushing carries. They've run Lycan, they've run Lone Druid. They ran one game with a Bristleback Tinker Lone Druid, which was super greedy, and they got just dumpstered in that game. But
did a Sven as well, I remember from that clip.
Clinks is out there, Kevin. That has been one of the go-to bans against Odd, usually in the second phase. I don't know. Apparently, it worked really well in Dream League. I didn't actually get to catch any of those games, but. How do you feel about Clinks?
I've heard multiple people talking about him. I mean, he sucked before the patch, and then they buffed him twice to his ulti, so the uptime is just really high. He can definitely kill towers rapidly. That part's really good, especially for backdooring. You can kill squishy supports sometimes, so I could definitely see some benefits, especially with a little bit of disable backup. And he's also pretty independent in the safe lane. That's definitely a really good thing to have lately. And plus, he's invis, right? So if you're trying to play really mobile, you can get across the map faster. They won't necessarily see you coming. It's like a Riki that's range that kills towers from the carry position. So if used correctly, I guess there's definitely some good abusable things out of it. They do end up banning it.
Yeah, so no Clinks. Planet Odd still not able to get their hands on it.
Okay.
They go into the Mag. We've seen a little resurgence for Mag this tournament. Perhaps that explains the Rubik pick, protecting this Magnus grab now, though Clutch potentially already have their 2 supports, I suppose. But we've seen like the Mag Troll has been really popular in particular. Troll also
melee.
Here that Clutch gamers were going to as a comfort pick.
A lot of teams have been dabbling, but I think they're moving away from it. At least from the games that I've seen, it seems like Troll is not as prioritized. It's like an occasional thing. So I kind of like that. Planet Odd are going to wait until a later pick to grab their melee hero.
Who's your dream Magnus partner?
I think it's a relatively good Jug game here against at least those 2 heroes. Nyx, Crystal Maiden, maybe something more mobile. That way you can follow faster on what Tree's doing, but Jug kind of fits that too. And he also makes up for the lack of damage that Treant and Rubik do in the lane stage. So I could see that. Although I just got off of watching OG pick a mid twice, which seemed fairly effective.
Yeah, Odd did run an anti-mage, but that was like in a really good anti-mage game.
That's not this, I don't think. Not against Nyx Crystal Maiden.
Certainly not as of yet. So Clutch will take their time. Normally with Clutch, it's just all about the mid-game team fighting. That's kind of been their claim to fame. But I have yet to see these miracle team fights that I've heard so much about, which apparently was a big part of their success in the qualifiers. And they will end up going for the Troll. So they run this hero both ways. Sometimes they run it safe lane for Armel. Sometimes they do run it mid for Gabby. So it's, you know, we'll have to see which direction they want to take it.
A little bit of a steal. Not the best win rates on Clutch Gamers this week. It's all zeros, but
he's looking at their Dota buff page.
Interesting.
It's a depressing site right now.
Yeah, they've been all over the place. Only picked one hero twice on those Legions, so kind of hard to predict what they're going to do, at least based on their recent performance. And their top ban actually was a Magnus, so kind of interesting that ends up squeaking through here. They do go for the Jug. It's just, I wouldn't say it's amazing against Troll Warlord. It's okay. You can always Omni Slash against Troll, and it can be good until like the mid part of the game, but most Trolls build tankier right now, and they go armor perk and HP perk most of the time, so maybe it won't work out well. And this was, I think, a really good response.
Yeah, I like the Axe versus both of these heroes. Blade Mail obviously can be fantastic against heavy physical damage. You've got good lockdown through Blade Fury. You've also, I think Axe can fit the tempo that Clutch generally want to play at, which is very aggressive ganking mid-game, not trading farm, and especially not trying to trade farm against the Magnus too much.
Does Troll really match up well against that, though? Like, that's part of the problem. I feel like Troll does...
Not on his own, that's for sure. But I guess the Troll fuels the push, right? Like, you get to pick with the Axe or the Nyx, and then you look to take a tower.
That's a great point. And Jug's just... He's okay against Axe and lane, but it's kind of back and forth. And against a Rubik and a Tree, weak-ish disable, definitely weak damage. I think Axe can sometimes set up kills in that way. So this does push Nyx to be a support. One hero that's actually not been touched yet, surprisingly, is Night Stalker here. I'm very surprised. I think it could... No, I guess if it's Nyx... Yeah, it's got to be Nyx support, right? Could be Nyx mid, but...
Yeah, Night Stalker, if he wasn't already, like, big stock rising before the tournament, he certainly has been since the group stage began.
I guess that's the only reason, right? Since both teams probably had both supports, so there's no point to ban the Night Stalker.
True. The Nyx is the only one that could even
alternate,
potentially be a core.
So last ban here, Planet Odd is looking for their mid hero most likely, unless it's going to be Wii Magnus.
Yeah, Wii has been an interesting story for Odd. He has had a really rough run of it, especially at this tournament. I mean, he did have to play against Sumail, and no one. They played VP and EG, right? I believe they did.
It's hard to find their icon. Yeah, VP and EG. Arguably,
so he arguably played
teams.
The two strongest mids in the world right now, and he got crushed in pretty much every game, even in matchups that you could argue were favored, or even if he got help. So maybe looking for a comeback game here. But yeah, as far as Wii heroes, they banned the Death Prophet. Not really what I think of as a go-to Wii hero.
Yeah, not so much, but it does really help their teamfight push a little bit, and it's also tanky and hard to kill. Like, Clutch Gamers right now has decent damage. It's like average, so I think if you put a tanky tower pusher on the front of that, it would be a good solution. And generally, Death Prophet's kind of hard for Axe to deal with too, because you can kind of control when you do damage. Therefore, Blade Mail on Axe is not going to be as effective. So I think it would have been a cool pick, and it has seen some resurgence this tournament. Just on and off.
So what do Clutch Gamers want? They have the gank. They have one solid carry, looking for their final core to round things out. And I guess now we'll find out: is the Troll going mid? Is he going to be going safe lane? Still up in the air, and well, this should answer that question. They go for the Storm. Planet Odd, very light on the lockdown for the Storm as of yet, Kevin, but they do have last pick.
I mean, I think Tree's really effective against it right now. I mean,
True.
If he's got BKB, obviously he's got solutions, but the root from the punch as well as overgrowth, it definitely is a way to kill Storm in the late game. But other than that, yeah, I guess RP, Rubicliff, there's some things. Jugging it a Basher later.
That's a good point. I was not thinking.
I'm more thinking of how Storm sets tempo, and I feel like, yes, he can do some stuff early, but he also requires a lot of farm sometimes. So it doesn't really feel like he gets super active until 30 minutes in, 40 minutes in sometimes.
So Planet Odd, how do they round it out? What are we going to see for Wii, or is there a chance of that Wii Magnus that you were thinking?
I don't think you want to do that against Storm, yeah.
Okay. They'll go Dragon Knight here, so Planet Odd, great Tower Sieger. Gives them a little bit of push. They were a little light on that, only had the Jug to hit buildings. And
I think it's pretty good. It's pretty tanky.
safe pick.
He's kind of dangerous versus Storm, I guess, because it's a lot of magic damage, and maybe CM is okay against DK, but...
I mean, now they have a lot of disable. If they get like a blink on Dragon Knight, you've got the tree, the RP, the lift. There's plenty of control for the Storm.
And they don't have very good ways to kill living armor, so they can... They'll be able to control Storm, but... Oh, yeah, control Storm. Sorry, I thought you said control DK. I think the DK is going to be pretty survivable this game, is what it looks like to me. So I think that was a good grab. He's going to have to get mobility items, and he's going to have to be the one setting tempo early game, because Treant and Rubik alone are not going to be able to do that. Whoops.
All right, so who do you favor as the draft concludes, or do you think it's pretty even here?
I think I like the Clutch Gamers lineup a bit better. I think it's a little easier to execute in the early game, whereas Odd's team is very reliant on Dragon Knight having a decent early mid and getting like a Blink Dagger to make stuff happen. That's what it feels like to me, at least. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like I look at Planet Odd as just having like the somewhat safer, easier to execute draft, mainly because of the tree pick more than anything else. But and I think Clutch Gamer is a lot more tempo reliant. Like they have to find kills. Planet Odd can just sit back and farm. They can also potentially find ganks in the mid game. I just feel like Odd have a couple more avenues towards victory. Important
question. Will OD Pixel miss First Blood this game? I'm going to say probably because he's not here. Let us know. Exclamation yes in chat or exclamation no. We'll check the results later.
All right. Well, we'll wait for those results with bated breath. It is game one of this best of three as our teams enter the field of battle, and Moon can show himself first as the mag. So indeed, the off-lane mag in the end is the way they go. Running the DK mid, no surprises there. Just a little bit of tree scouting out for a journey, and will be potentially scouted by the Sentry Ward placed towards mid. So it looks like they want to protect our Mel early. It's tough to deal with those tree kicks.
And they're moving over instantly, though. They're going to try to get a kill here.
Right.
This Juggernaut runs really weird. I don't know why. It's freaking me out, though. Just wait till they move. There it is. Look at this. Oh, this is a dead CM, I'm pretty sure. That was perfect.
They look for Fly Solo. Can they finish him off with the lift? And a little more punching action. Odd will strike first. The power of the tree, Kevin, never ceases to amaze.
And the eyes, and just vision. That's literally it. You just got to see people, and he's invis. Very valuable, though. They didn't even have to spin for that, so very ungreedy. Very safe play. Still has spin mana, full mana, and he's going to need it against Axe.
Rappy in a decent matchup here on his own. Of course, it looks like won't be on his own. It's going to be 2, potentially 3 Odd heroes starting off top. So they look to deal with this Axe threat early. And good news for Clutch Gamers, they should have a pretty decent matchup mid. This Storm versus Dragon Knight. Fly Solo starting in the jungle. And then our final lane bottom is the off-lane mag. Generally a hero that is going to struggle versus Troll, and especially if the Troll's getting help.
Yeah, no kidding. But it really helps that it's a Nyx Assassin, I guess. That's the bright part. And if it was a Crystal Maiden and a Nyx Assassin, it's a hero that does very little right-click damage, and a hero that's melee and doesn't have the most reliable stun. So I guess this kind of makes this work. They're doing some really good harassment, though.
Yeah, Moon is already skilled in power, so it does have to be careful. Some early pressure from Boombacks.
But the lane's pushing, so as long as they don't connect the pull, and I don't think they will be able to, he's going to get pretty fast level 2, level 3.
Yeah, same for Rappy here in the off lane for now, doing a good job of farming. Saksa chilling in Viz, but you don't want to be hitting that Axe when your Jug is nearby. So early on, Clutch Gamers, lanes actually look decent for them, all things considered. It's an unfortunate first blood. But
that's not too bad. Saksa does pick up level 2, though. And with Misery pulling here, Axe will get some creeps denied, and the wave will push, and this is going to be their opportunity to finally kill him, if they can. So we'll see if they get that opportunity.
What is the Axe build for you in this situation? Do you just take the casual point in Battle Hunger? Are you considering leveling it up?
Nice gank on the mid lane.
Fly Solo does find the kill. So no miss first blood, but a miss second blood.
No, that was OD, come on. Yeah. And he did miss it. He's actually currently looking at his phone. Let's take a look at the results. You guys were correct. 83%. Good guesses.
Even when he's not observing, he's still missing kills.
Well, it doesn't make a difference.
Together, Owen.
I think the Battle Hunger level's pretty good, though. It gives him a way to at least do some damage to Resolution, and the support as well. They're chasing him down. He could be in some trouble here.
Could be trouble for App. He goes for the TP out, and Rezo not able to prevent that, so he'll Tango up, grab a bounty rune.
You know, it's almost like Resolution's Blade Fury hotkey is broken, but he's just so good that he just holds it. He knows. He's like, oh, no, I'm not going to waste 100 mana. Never.
Skewer by Moon. Unfortunately, Fly Solo is here. Another great flank by the Crystal Maiden. They'll have that Impale coin down soon. Oh, they cancel the salve. He does barely live. Has to go all the way back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it the walk of shame, but a painful walk for him.
Yeah, the salve costing
right
him
at the tower.
Costing them the gank. Definitely worth
Saksa going for the big plays, looking for the kill, and Rappy gets off the Leech Seed. Battle Hunger, though, look for the turnaround. Not in time. Saksa will pay, but he is very happy with that trade.
That was super sick. How does he do that, man? Just walked all the way around. If he had Battle or Berserker's Call there, he definitely lives. He could have just gotten the 40 armor and just walked under tower, but Battle Hunger costing him. So, pretty even game so far. Last hits are not bad either. 21 last hits for Weehaw versus the 28 of Storm, so that's quite even, despite the gank. He's doing a good job.
Moon keeping the pressure up here bottom. Only 5 CS, but he's somewhat limiting this troll of Gabby.
He did just pull for his opponents, though. That was not a good move. That's a triple stack. Huge mistake. But it also does...
It does pull the wave in, I suppose.
Oh, wait, no, that's a good...
He'll get his free creeps.
Actually, it's a good thing. What am I talking about?
But Clutch gamers are also going to be able to clear the stack a bit earlier.
It's very, isn't it just confusing when you pull your creeps to their neutral? Like it just.
It's getting late here, you know.
Yeah, I think that's all it is. I'm just brain confused, and I'm doubting whether what I think is correct, and it was wrong. That was good.
Is what you're thinking right now even a real thought, Kevin?
I'm not sure.
Is it just a simulation?
This is still OD Pixel's fault.
Are you a brain in a vat?
No, definitely not.
They drop the sentry here. They're prepared for Sox's movements. They need one more auto tech to get it. Whoa, he fades away. He will survive.
They're gonna.
Meanwhile, up in the top lane,
he's gonna stun the ground. I guarantee it. Huh? He's going for it. 1 second later, there it is. See,
even drops the ward.
I could feel it. That was some desperation.
That's the goddamn it. Why did we give him trees?
He wanted some Reddit exposure, and he gave it a shot. Didn't work out.
He probably wouldn't have gotten it because I had actually seen him run away. And,
oh, really? Okay.
And stopped following him with my camera. Shameful display.
Level 4 now for Magnus, so maybe not getting a lot of farm, but he is getting some levels. That's half the battle.
Oh, well, you mentioned saving that Blade Fury, and Resolution does it for a while, but happy just with the Berserker's Call and calmly run away. So we'll survive for now, doing decently on the offlane axis as far as like pressuring the Jug, I suppose, but not great. Mag is actually out CSing him for now, and Moon is out leveling him too with this jungle play. We're going to have a big skirmish, though, developing towards mid as Weehaw is pursued by 3. Clutch gamers with a successful rotation. Sox too low to assist.
A little unfortunate there. Still no stun for Dragon Knight, but I don't really blame him too much. It's very difficult to play in this lane anyways. So maybe he should have skipped the 3rd Breathe Fire level and gotten it, though. That very likely could have kept him alive. But it's a tough lane. He's trying to maximize his farm, and sometimes it might be better to go Breathe Fire.
Yeah, Weehaw still CSing, I guess, decently before that death and has been under a bit of pressure, but it's been a while since I've seen him just win a lane matchup. Not that this is one you should win, but it can't be good for your confidence in the game.
I don't think you're going to have any trouble affecting Weehaw's confidence. I think he's got the confidence, just maybe got too much confidence, actually.
Yeah? Even now?
I don't know him well enough to know whether or not losses or getting beaten lane hurts or not. Or is he is he like a Sumail type, you know? Does it make you just more wanting to win?
I don't know. We'll have to put him on the couch sometime later and really dig into this.
How arrogant are you?
We need to know.
Almost Arcane Boots for Nyx Assassin. That's amazing, actually. 6 minutes in. Either way, the gold mix is pretty much down the middle. In fact, I haven't done this bun yet, but let's give it a shot. Let's take a look at the levels.
Ooh.
It's hard to tell.
The Storm's bar is so big. It's so manly.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But it looks like pretty even across the board. Maybe slight odd gamer, whatever the heck their name is, favored. Pretty close.
Yeah, very slight, at least as far as gold goes. 200 gold discrepancy. So one of our closest openings to a laning stage of the tournament. How does the game progress moving forward? As we'll see Armel move onto Weehaw, maybe try to bait out that stun.
He's just messing with him.
Harass.
Very effectively too. He does get 1 living armor remaining, but a little bit of regen. I just feel like Storm Spirit's just going to bully this game. That's kind of what it seems like. He's playing very confident.
I mean, do you think they have the tools to deal with a Stormers at this kind of start?
I think so. between RP, between Treant, and between like a Blink Dagger DK, absolutely. They just need the vision, and Treant provides it. So I think they definitely have some good solutions going into the mid game. I don't think that's going to be the issue. But if they don't get their Blink Dagger up in time, if the ganks continue, something like that, then things could get pretty scary. And it's not like Clutch Gamers have bad scouting of their own either. I mean, they're going to have a next assassin. If he ever hits 6, actually, he just hit 4. Very behind in that way.
Yeah, they have been like pseudo tri-laning and seen this gank parade just roaming around the map together.
That's actually been really detrimental though, because I mean we're 8 minutes in, their sports just ticked over into level 4. So
meanwhile, Misery's almost 5 already.
Yeah, it's the difference of doing pulling from the start of the game. Just that kind of priority stuff changes things. And Treant being behind, not as big of a deal, right? Because it's not like a 6 is gonna make or break the game if he gets it 2 minutes earlier. Usually.
Elsewhere, Rappy just quietly farming towards his Blink. A good aggressive ward was dropped earlier by this tree, so Armel does have to be careful when he gets low, though he may not realize this ward is in the neighborhood.
And slowly but patiently, Dragon has been pinging away at mid, doing a lot of damage to that.
That's the thing is, like, maybe he loses his lane even substantially, but he's likely to take the first tower of the game at this rate.
Storm does come back though, so they're gonna have to back from this. But 275, I mean, this is almost in deny range actually. And that's the first Dragon form. I think that's complete value.
And there is no tree on the side of Clutch Gamers. This is permanent damage.
So for now, Resolution sticks in his lane. Feels pretty survivable to me. Maybe they need to rotate and gank the Jug. That could be effective. But with it being a CM and an underleveled Nyx Assassin, it's very difficult to do that. Maybe it takes Storm rotating or something. But it kind of looks like Clutch Gamers doesn't have very many plans to actually move around and get things done, other than sit in their lanes. And I don't think that's what they need to do. I think they need to pressure maybe Jug, maybe Magnus. But instead they're farming.
Yeah, Moon is having a party here in the jungle. Has been just farming stacks of newts for the last like 4 minutes, it feels like, really. No contest. They do have that one ward like on the low ground, but they have not been interested in going after him. Just, as you said, content to trade. But that all does change now as Clutch Gamers go for a smoke. Unfortunately, it's a level 4 Nyx, a level 4 CM. It's not going to be too easy to get a kill. We'll see if they find an unsuspecting victim. No blink on the axe just yet, so
it's just not a whole lot of nuke damage.
And
talking about 500 max, maybe.
See Misery. Storm could ball in and look to assist for this, and he obliges by walking down the cliff right into the frostbite. Ball lightning forward, almost instantly. Armel gets the kill with the Remnant. He will, and now the rotation coming through. Resolution on the hunt, has the Omni Slash ready. Wants that easy Crystal Maiden kill, but gets fogged. Fly Solo tries to slow him down with the Nova. The Omni just reaches, but it bounces to the Ancients. Oh, Resolution, not the ideal scenario. He's got the phase boots, though, so he should be able to collect the kill in the end. And indeed, the last hit going to go to Wii. So, meanwhile, the tower, very low. Can they defend this? Will anyone come to the aid of this tower?
They will, and Weehaw will also stay. It does get, no, yeah, it does get denied.
Ball lightning in, it is into the tree and armor, and Misery able to steal that Remnant. So, oh man, Rappy's got to be careful about the kind of damage Misery can put out. I didn't really look at this game like, oh, there's amazing spells to steal, but yeah, that Remnant did some serious work.
When you use it like that and they're running at you, Static Remnant, better than his nuke. So Misery picks up a fast level 6, all due to all the pulling that they're doing. And now that the mid lane is opened up, that's going to make it a lot easier for Tree to get around and get things done, actually. More places for him to look for kills. And now Storm Spirit's got to be a little scared.
I do want to mention the net worth advantage was 1 gold a second or two ago.
Okay.
That is probably the first time I've ever seen it that close.
A huge swing.
Yeah. That's a back and forth game so far. And now finally Boombax does have level 6, so
okay.
Pretty important fight for them in that regard. You mentioned like he was gonna struggle to get involved, but finally can look for something here on Moon. This would be a big takedown, but in comes Planet Odd with the reinforcements. They were actually setting a bit of a trap here, or maybe not a full trap. He just has to disengage, gets the living armor. Saxa could be the sacrificial lamb instead. They commit the dust. They will surround him in the trees. They will beat him into submission.
They get a kill out of it. I think if Misery had more mana there, maybe an Arcane Boots, they definitely would have taken the fight. But in the meantime, Dragon Knight shifts the off lane and takes another tower. So I think that's completely worth it for them. They lose the RP, but I mean, Moon's probably just going to jungle anyways, right? So what's a big deal?
Definitely a fair point. The blink is still a ways off, so unlikely to get a great opening for that with no overgrowth to set him up. So Dragon Knight kind of, to me, the story of the game, Kevin, where
Yeah.
we had not the best lane, got ganked a couple of times, pressured, gave up a kill, up against the Storm with the Crystal Maiden aura. It's very tough. And he's just been mowing down tier 1s anyway. This hero's not really been getting all that much respect in the draft, but
I've seen it banned a
showing
little
his
bit,
strength.
like 4th and 5th.
Yeah.
Something like that, max.
I feel like he's a little undervalued right now.
Yeah, some teams I think do value him appropriately. He gets level 10 now, picks up an extra 200 HP from the 10 strength, and he's got a haster in. This is dangerous now.
Perhaps we've jinxed it as he gets found by 3. They will look to focus him down. Weehaw, though, very difficult to finish off with that haster, and he survives. And meanwhile, Resolution caught Fly solo looking for the pincer attack. Now, Gabby, a great set of axes there to prevent the follow-up physical damage, but still Planet Odd have the numbers, and they charge. There is a shrine waiting up the hill, though. They continue pursuit. They get the stun on Rappy. They're going to be able to lock him down. Can they finish him off? They do. Misery there with the Fade Bolts carrying the kill, and Boompacks can do naught but watch. Healing Ward ensures that Odd should be back to full HP in short order.
Dragon Knight's Revenge, man. The haster finally came into play other than the survivability thing. And that was actually amazing. He was so out of position, took tons of damage, but still lived just barely. Magic Wand and a little bit of mobility and Dragon Knight's very difficult to kill. And
now, with the Armlet, he gets much, much harder to take down.
And kind of interesting he went Armlet instead of mobility, but I mean, with Healing Ward, he's never going to lose HP. And probably harder to kill this way, too.
Yeah, just trying to be the front liner, banking, and obviously with Empower, the Armlet adds some extra value.
Oh, that's true.
So he's going to hit pretty hard with this.
And no matter what, it's going to cleave either melee or range. Technically splash. If you want to be mechanics nerd about it.
You don't have to build a Battle Fury every game.
That's true. Oh, he's paying attention. Nice.
He's got a sly smirk on his face.
There's nothing quite like flaming casters that are in the room with you when they're not casting more. It's the best. No way they can respond. Not on mic. A little unfair, but
it's okay. We get our licks in while we can.
Nick's now looking for kills and opportunities. He's going to find Misery, but
nice opportunity here. Hits the one hero stun, but the ball lightning coming in. Carapace as well. Armel's the one who gets stunned. Good decision making here by Weehaw in the clutch. And it will allow him to escape.
Oh, really nice escape there. Storm was a little late, though. He needed to initiate and get a Remnant off in addition to the ball lightning damage. So, but, rotating now to the off lane. This is the part where they just control the enemy jungle.
Soxa may be setting up for something here in the top lane if they want to TP. The 3 heroes from Clutch Gamers are about to arrive, so they're going for that bottom tower siege.
I think he's just trying to slow this down with the Living Arm, or with the Leech Seed. Maybe make them scared, perhaps?
Weehaw, the Demolition Crew. Man, look at this tower. It's just absolutely melt. May just take this tower and then...
Wow, they push it so fast.
Defend? No.
That's a little too low. It's dangerous anyways. Like, Nyx Assassin has a dust. Soxa will sit around, though.
Tier 1 for a Tier 2 still. But not happy with that, and they get suspicious. They drop the scan. They're going to find Soxa, and see you later, buddy.
That's a good idea.
Sacrifice.
Not too many resources to burn to scan there, so it's not like Odd is going to probably go for a Roche, and even if they do, it's going to take a long time, so that was a pretty safe play. Don't lose much out of the scan for it.
Even with that Armlet first, Weehaw, after muscling down all these towers, is close to having the Blink Dagger at 1,400 gold if he doesn't get picked off here anyway. Moon, airballing the RP. No, he cancels it, casts it again, does find that quick kill, and now looking for a bit more as Gabby charges in. Nice zoning Crystal Maiden ultimate, but they need the follow-up damage. It's got to come from Armel, pulling him in, but getting lifted immediately. Now the tree arriving, the overgrowth from the low ground is going to lock him in position. Rappy, though, with the counter call. Beautifully done, but not enough. He isn't able to get the full lockdown required, and now Rezo spinning onto him. Looks to chase down the axe. I am the real Spin Lord, says Resolution, and he will collect the triple kill. 3 down, and a big win for Planet Odd.
Yeah, it looked like an okay fight for Clutch Gamers, but as soon as the Rubik got the freezing field, I don't know if the Storm realized it or not, but that was very overly aggressive to dive that deep, because a lift into a tree ult with freezing field going on, it's so difficult to dive into that afterwards, and it cost 2 heroes their lives on Clutch's side. They could have just walked away from that.
It's really hard to team fight into Planet Odd if they don't get that early pick. You know, there's so much AoE, so many ways to completely turn a team fight on its head. And meanwhile, you've got the Axe Call, a lot less reliable than, say, like a tree ult or an RP.
It was used effectively, but it's only so much it does. I mean, they do still have the abuse of Blade Mail on Axe against Juggernaut. Juggernaut's damage is going to be so high that it will be effective in late game scenarios, but maybe there's a way that resolution can build to limit that effectiveness.
So are you, if you're Clutch Gamers right now, do you feel like any pressure going up against the Magnus Tree late game, the way the game's developed? Are you under the gun
I think
here?
so. And that's what's kind of cool about Weeha's build. He went armlet first, that he could actually farm, push towers faster, and now he's going back for the Blink Dagger. So now he's going to have the mobility that he needs to actually get those picks. So I feel like no matter what happens, the tier 1 towers are all dead, Tree's going to go look for heroes, and they will eventually use that for kill setups. And
yeah, now with the Tree always invis off the map and the Blink initiation from Mag as well as Dragonite, there's some real gap closing potential and ambush potential for Planet Odd.
Yeah, their game is just completely shifted from tower pushing into really strong team fight, and that's what's so cool about their draft here. Oh, and he gets a courier snipe. Really big grab for Soxa.
Wasn't packing the biggest load. Actually, no, wait, it had the Bloodstone recipe. Oh, that's a big takedown.
That is huge.
Now Planet Odd look to push the tempo.
That's okay, he's got a CM. Bloodstone's just greedy at this point, dude.
If he had the recipe, he'd probably just die anyway, right?
Yeah.
Now you're not losing charges.
And instantly they go back into pushing mid. Healing Ward's down, they get the tier 2 very safely. The Manta style on Juggernaut is going to be decent. Doesn't have to worry about Frostbite, I guess, but still Axe and Nyx are a big threat. And this is about the time. It looks like they're going to set up for Roche here. Blink to the high ground, no ward there.
Prepping the pit for their assault. Meanwhile, Armel trying to chip away at this tower, and there is a pretty notable gap in towers at this point, Kevin, as there's only one outer remaining for Clutch Gamers. Meanwhile, only one outer lost for Planet Odd. God, I can't even remember their name. I'm like thinking like Thunderbirds.
I just keep saying Odd, and that's all I got.
And then I'm like, oh, and Onyx is now DC, and I start thinking Onyx, and then I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, there's been a little bit of shuffling. It's like it's TI.
And a Dota, please. They're not even North American. That's the best part.
Yeah.
But only this kind of madness. North America, only North America could be associated with it.
Oh, yeah. Troll, interestingly, going the agility over the strength. I haven't seen this in a bit. Uses the HP a little bit with something to be desired for survivability, but once he gets S and Y and BKB, it probably won't matter too much. But I'm not sure if I have faith in Troll's viability this game. It's a Dragonite. Obviously, the Dragonite was last pick, but the Dragonite's going to be tough. Against Jug, he's effective, I would say.
Oh, Armel, route number 1, and has the Overgrowth. He's a little low on the mana here. Trying to be patient as he winds his way through the trees. Oh, maybe it is a blessing that he doesn't have that Bloodstone, though. He perhaps would like to deny right now, but trapped in the trees. The tree will combine with Weeha, and at the final moment, he tries the ball away, and then...
That could have been a suicide right there. Could have been.
Could have been some lost Bloodstone charge, though. Is it worth it?
Oh, no. Wait, never mind. That's the Lincoln Sphere recipe. I thought he accidentally bought the Lincoln Sphere recipe instead of the Bloodstone one for some reason. It's just his courier is still dead.
It's on the courier. Full tilt active.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. So, Lincoln Sphere afterwards. But he still has a 1,000 gold Lincoln Sphere recipe, which isn't going to be useful for a very long time. But that's the least of his problems. I'd be more worried about his towers being gone. And I feel like once Planet Odd grab a gem, that they're just going to absolutely dominate this map. Because right now, Nyx is moving around, he's looking at heroes, but there's no follow-up. There's nobody that's able to catch the heroes he catches.
Odd looking for the Roche. They have the whole team fight ready aside from Overgrowth, pulling down at 40. And Roche dropping pretty quickly. Boomback's definitely aware that something is happening in the pit. Storm
almost got Nyx, though.
TP in. It's all the way
It's
back
so close.
at the tier 3, though. Does he try for a big play here, Boomback's? No idea what's happening inside, and it's already too late. In fact, he's just going to pay with his life. They don't like voyeurs here on Planet Odd.
Yeah. I think that ran out, actually. It only lasts for 40 seconds, so I think he was standing right on the edge of the sentry. His ulti runs out, and they get the disable. So, pretty big mistake, actually. But it's definitely easy to lose track of that if you're asking your team to come team fight, trying to figure out if you want a team fight. Tough spot to be in. And they stole Vendetta as well, so now Rubik can play the Nyx Assassin.
The dream.
I mean...
now you've got Tree and Nyx on one team.
Like Clutch just finished a smoke. Like, did they smoke to try to get to Roche? Is that what happened? But it's so late. They kind of reacted.
I think they popped the smoke like right as the Roche was dying, and then the Nyx died, and they're like, what do we do?
That's one of those things where if you read a little bit too slow on where your opponents are, where they are or what they're doing, then it just makes it even worse for you. They could have been farming. Get him pushing other lanes. That's Troll's job right now. Push out the off lane if possible, but already planning odds on the towers.
Now it's the Nyx again, going for the flank. He is going to find Sox, a big ball in from Armel. Balling again, finally gets clipped by the Overgrowth. Do they commit onto him? Nice dunk to start the fight. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Weeha's being controlled for now, but the RP for Moon, patient, and then finally delivers with the Omni cleaving through. Do they have the damage? Raffi trying to hold the line for his team. The Blade Mail doing work, the call as well. Resolution forced to turn and run. Does have the Aegis. 3.5 minutes on that, so he'll definitely have the extra life, but he might need it too with the ball forward. They chop him down once. I think, Kevin, they can do it again. A single bash, a call should be all that it really takes. Rezo on the run. Do we see buybacks here from Planet Odd? Not really, and another dunk. Rappy pulling it back. And Clutch Gamers, this is the type of fight that they were known for. There was even a tree buyback in the midst of that. 4 dead with the buyback, and the Aegis popped.
I mean, it was a great RP, but it really made it the best shrine I've ever seen, because they did not have the follow-up damage to actually burst through there. Omni Slash was previously used, I believe, before that even went down. And
I don't know if he had the Empower either. He probably did, but yeah, they didn't have the damage, like you said.
Yeah.
So Planet Odd now. Do they still want to take a fight? Gabby's feeling confident. He gets to work here with the battle chance, but perhaps a bit too confident. Rappy to the rescue again with the call. Trying to hold the Dragon Knight in position for now. The tower's low, not dead yet, and they would love to keep it alive.
Stun in 2.
As they do have the living armor. Boombacks comes from the flank. Looks for the big play. Can't finish off Misery. Stun on the Axe will get the job done. And Weeha hitting hard considering he really doesn't have any items. The power of Empower appears to be a bit too much as Clutch Gamers now find themselves on the run. Rain around the Rosie, and Crystal Maiden's pocket full of posies gets cut open, and Odd take the plunder. So Clutch Gamers, again, have to back off.
He looks like a regular carry. He's hitting so hard. It's incredible. The armlet damage, well, here's a DD. He's hitting for 450 damage right now with the armlet on. It's insane. 10 strength, 40 damage from the talent tree. Jeez. I mean, they did lose the fight before, but at least they won that one, and they protected the tier 1, so that will be healed back up to full. Overtime.
Feels like kind of a hidden strength to the Magnus as well with some of these talents that just give you plus stats. You know, it really synergizes nicely with the Empower.
Yeah, and if it's on strength heroes as well, like it's very rare that strength heroes are picked with Empower. In a lot of cases, just because they don't carry as often, but Dragon Knight kind of fits the mold perfectly. And even when he goes into range mode, he still has natural splash from his ulti. So. Just works out in all ways.
And they're just right back down mid for Clutch Gamers. But this time they're walking into RP. They're walking into Overgrowth. They do have a trap set here for the Nyx as he's running atop a few sentries. Boombacks, though, is going to get cold feet, and so will the team. They back away, instead plunging to the north. Not going to find anything there either.
I've also got a BKB on Dragon Knight now, which is why he's playing so aggressively up in the front. Just
by the way, tower's
safe for him.
Full health as well.
Already? Yeah. What the hell?
Jesus. So they still only have one outer tower for Clutch Gamers.
That's something you need to take care of in the early game, and something they definitely could have. Like all those times the supports were just kind of walking around. Do a single pull, push the tower.
I mean, in spite of only having one tower, it's only a 2k gold lead, so... I mean, perhaps a good sign that if they can win that one fight, they'll actually have a substantial lead. Yeah,
you're right, but I don't think about towers. Towers shouldn't be thought about in terms of gold anymore. I don't think, because it's been nerfed and nerfed and nerfed. You get like 150 gold per hero. That's not the big thing. It's more about the map control that it provides and how far you can push out lanes safely. But when the tier 1s are up, it's so much harder for them to cross the map. They have to run around buildings. They have to smoke through tier 1s, tier 2s. There's less places they can ward. It makes the rest of the game a lot harder, even if the gold is behind.
The Nyx stronger as well, but
yeah, absolutely.
Boombacks still trying to find those openings,
especially the mid tower. That one's hugely beneficial, and they've got wards down in this place, but it's all near the enemy tier 1 and the enemy tier 2. But that's unlikely where the fights are going to be, unless somebody can come with the Nyx. If they had like a lifesteal or something, sure, this makes sense. But if Nyx is running around by himself, he's never going to get a kill.
Armel, 17 Bloodstone charges. He's getting some great momentum this game. He's going to ball forward while TPing out. Just a bit of extra farm for him. And
that was a little close.
That was close, though. Misery was in the neighborhood trying to cut him off with the Blink Lift, but couldn't quite connect.
That would have been a huge snag, because he definitely burns all of his mana doing that.
Yeah. In a way, it probably did save him, though. Otherwise, I think the tree sets up, and maybe the Dragon Knight gets there in time for the follow-up stun.
Yeah. Midas is the follow-up there for Magnus.
Well, Late game looking pretty secure on paper for Odd. They've got the Midas, the double empower carries, the massive team fight.
And the network's not
but
bad.
You can never count out a troll with battle, or sorry, a storm with battle trance.
Yeah, but I would say Troll's doing a great job considering that there is empower on the enemy team. It's that 13k farm compared to the 15 of the Jug. Like, Gabby's keeping the farm up. Blink Dagger up, trying to finish his BKB. He's very close, but here comes the smoke.
Jungle invasion from Planet Odd. Looking to push the map control edge a bit further. Tree leading in the front lines here with that pesky max move speed. But damage not going to be done yet as Clutch Gamers sniff it out. We'll TP away. So Odd on a fool's errand. Did get the one ward down.
Resolution's already got a Scotty picked up as well, so they've got a lot of mobility advantage on their side. And this is generally the build you go as well. When you're against an axe, you don't want to buy as many damage items. It's better to do a hybrid, that way you don't kill yourself on the blade mill so fast.
Do you like this Midas at 28 minutes?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I saw the Midas build up.
Like, we've seen the Midas mags, but I just realized how late it is.
Yeah, me too. It's so late in the game, actually. Maybe Force is better. I mean, surely it is. Oh, God, you don't Midas a Mud Golem. Come on. Okay, it saves him like 2 seconds, but still.
Reported.
That's so little gold. You'd be better off to Midas a melee creep, I think, experience-wise. Like, gold-wise, it's going to take a while for this to pay off. And I guess Blink alone is enough, but Force Staff surely would help if he goes in and gets caught, or if he gets caught at all. I don't know. I'm not sold on it. But if the game does go slow, and that's probably the case, and Clutch Gamers can probably defend, then I guess it'll pay off in 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah, he is quite poor Moon, despite, you know, spending a lot of time farming earlier than Power. 6.5k net worth for him.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's probably because he's been following people since then, waiting for the team fight. It's the problem I have. I'm like, I can farm fast. I'm just going to go farm. But then you have a team fight ultimate. You should probably use it. So he's going to catch up with it now. Because his opponents have basically just been dodging him for a while. They haven't really let him take a real fight in a bit.
Yeah. Though Clutch Gamers have been trying for those fights. We've seen they're not afraid to go for the smokes. The next Roche potentially on the horizon. It's just hit 8 minutes. In fact, it's going to be a quick respawn as they finally look to take their second tier 1 of the game. Jeez, it's been like 20 minutes nearly since they've taken a tower.
And their wards still there, are still very effective. Nyx is going to go left, though, so I think they're trying to trick their opponents and go somewhere
Bit of a loop-de-loop. They're actually heading down mid, but Misery, well, he had the gem earlier. Who's it on right now? Looks like Weeha's carrying it, and he's in great position here. On the high ground, the Nyx gets off the Carapace. They're just going to commit to him heavily. Resolution, Omni Slash, no hesitation, gets the kill, and now Gabby gets Carapace done, I believe, by the Rubik, though Armel is going to finish him off. Good jump there. Now it's to deal with Resolution, gets rooted, gets controlled, does have the suicide if necessary. Moon's like, I brought another back with me. Not going to get the Armel kill, though. Rampy coming in a bit late with the call, stays alive. The team re-engaging. Gabby joins the fray. He's got some axes too, and he wants to use them. He brings down the mag of Moon. Where's your Midas now, brother? And looks for Saksa as well on the low ground, surrounded and dealt with.
Wow.
4 have fallen. A disaster for Planet Odd.
No kidding. Very split fight. I thought it was going very bad for Clutch Gamers there, considering that they initiated on the Dragon Knight, but it just took so much time to kill the Storm that everything worked out in the end. And the huge part, actually, is they sent the courier over and they just retrieved the gem. Weehaw might have dropped it in the trees, or maybe they just didn't realize he had it, but they retrieved that. So at least that goes okay.
Storm's got a Bloodstone with 21 charges and an Aegis now. That is a nightmare scenario if you're Planet Odd.
Yeah, they had to kill the Storm, but they didn't have any more damage or disable output. And that was Rubik dying at the start. Maybe they're... Did you see where the RP landed?
I think he only got one. I'm trying to remember who it was. No, it wasn't the Axe. The Troll blinked in. He got one hero that he brought back to the fight while the Storm was almost dead. Okay. It was not used on the Storm, and I think he might have been able to get in range to just ensure that kill, but probably figured he was already dead.
Now winning the next fight is so much harder.
Essentially gets dropped here. Does get eyes on boombacks, but all of a sudden, tower's going down now. The tier 1 mid already dropped, and Clutch Gamers looking for a second as these miracle fights they were known for in the qualifiers, and at long last, they find their footing. Sox in good position here to set up, but they don't have the follow-up. No RP for 20. And Odd, a lost fight could just mean a lane of racks, so they're not going to chance it yet.
They have to be so careful. It really sucks that they lost it, but they will catch the Nyx Assassin, though.
Doesn't have a Blink Dagger, any sort of mobility, so he is just mega dead.
Orb of Venom betraying Treant Protector there. The spiked Carapace. A whole lot of damage reflection, but the stun was the important part. Fortunately for him, Dragonite caught up. So, I mean, they're behind now. There's an Aegis on the Storm. That's definitely very bad, but I still feel like Planet Odd has the map control, especially with the gem still in their possession. That was such a big loss for them not to catch that. And they get a D-Ward mid now.
I don't know if they ever actually saw it, because like the gem was there. I don't think they saw it until after the big fight broke out, and like that was when they initially killed the Nyx, who was running up the hill blind. And then, then they're busy team fighting, so probably just lost track of it if they saw it at all.
It was definitely on the Dragonite when he was hitting buildings, I'm pretty sure. So they probably should have grabbed it, but ultimately, not gonna be the reason that one. But actually, they might have been able to kill a Treant if they did have one. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, which might have also led to more. Saved the Nyx in turn there. So potentially even means that they threaten for high ground. But Treant's a big part of their team fight to set up for the Magnus.
And once you're confident that they're not looking at you, it changes so much. Troll is leveling super well still. Incredible farm on him.
When he's gone for more damage, plus 40 damage talent. So
yeah, adds up pretty quick. He's going to go for a Scotty himself. That is going to be really good, actually. Troll's kite potential against a Jug is usually very strong. You can do a little bit of range mix.
The Jug is really going to be quite reliant on these setup stuns. He's not going to be able to deal too effectively with the Troll 1v1.
Or the Axe. Like it's actually a bit of an iffy Jug game at this point, but he's definitely very good at pushing towers, getting the advantage that they had before, but from here on out, probably wishes he's playing somebody else.
Now with Smoke. Clutch Gamers charging up the hill, looking for the opening. Boombacks leads the way. Nyx out in front, under cover of Vendetta, and they jump. They find Misery quickly, and just as quickly, they will take him out. Nice kill for them to start things off, and they look for more. Onto Weehaw they go. The Blink Call is there. Does have the BKB, but hasn't had a chance to use it. Meanwhile, on the backlines, it's Armel. He's found the Magnus. He's not going to let Moon get off the RP. Huge pick for him. He's got the Aegis for round 2, and they engage forward. BKB by Gabby. Buyback by the Rubik. They need to hold the line. Odd on the ropes. They already dropped the BKB for Weehaw, so he doesn't even have that to fight. The Crystal Maiden all comes out. Somebody needs to stun her, and he will, but that puts the Dragonite in harm's way, and they lunge in again. The CM ult stolen by Misery. That's going to get shut down relatively quickly, but good damage done here for the Blade Fury. Pretty Rappy low, and now the Troll wants to back away. Will he be able to do so? Not going to happen. The buybacks pay off as Wee collects a triple kill. Armel stays alive. 24 Bloodstone charges, and he did snag the gem in the midst of that chaos, but a nice hold by Planet Odd, all things considered.
Very dangerous fight there for Planet Odd. It easily could have gone awful, but I think Misery's good reaction with the freezing field. Weehaw getting the blink off right as his BKB ended was crucial. But I'm looking at that fight start, and I'm looking at Magnus, and I'm like, use your Midas on the dragon. No, you can't, because you don't have a Force Staff. Like, if he had a Force Staff there, that fight doesn't even start. He Force Staffs the Dragonite to the high ground. It's much less likely that Clutch Gamers goes for the follow-up, and they wait till the Rubik respawn. Ultimately, it worked out in the end. Maybe that's the plan. You get Midas and a good team fight win, but boy, this game is looking way too close, considering how Clutch Gamers has been doing so far this tournament.
Well, we saw one Midas pick up earlier today in the EG series in Game 2, which they ended up losing versus Planet Odd, where Winter was extremely critical of crit for getting a Crystal Maiden Midas that potentially could have been an item like that. Or in that game, I think it was just buying sentries to deal with the Nyx that ended up hurting them. But we'll see if Moons ends up costing the team even more. Still, though, haven't lost that lane of racks, and still have a couple outer towers, but very close game for 36 minutes, and one that, by all accounts, it felt like they should have been able to run away with. They had a 4-tower advantage and complete map control.
Yeah, just a little bit of sloppy playing and puts you in this position. Also, there's an Orchid on the Storm Spirit, so Magnus's very delayed Force Staff is not even really the solution he needs. He needs like a Yule Scepter or a Lotus Orb at this point, because if Storm finds him, it's going to be so much harder to get the RP out. They do have it ready, though, and they find an Invis Rune. Moon's going to snag that one.
Well, to farm all those items, Kevin, he might just need a refresher for the Midas.
That's true. That might work. Or Octarine. You never know.
Is that the next level pickup that's in order for Moon here? Probably not.
Letting the lane push out a bit. Got a very important Solar
big
Crest.
Scan by the Radiant. They can bait this one out. They know Odd are lurking up the hill, and Weehaw kind of showing himself not the hero you really want to go on. Take a pause. Not a fair amount of flag this event.
Weehaw picks up the 300 health perk at 20, not the GPM. Kind of interesting, but probably worth it. I'm a little worried about the magic damage that's going to cut through him if his BKB isn't active, but he's going to be really hard to kill by physical, that's for sure. Oh, did they see?
Carapace starting the party on nothing. Oh, Misery there with the steal, and he steals a big one. That could hugely ramp up their team fight.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Potentially you're getting off 2 of those impales between the RP and the overgrowth.
And he can instantly initiate in another way other than telekinesis. Usually want to save telekinesis until the crucial moment where things are going bad. You need to stun somebody instantly. Could be good. Almost BKB for Axe as well, so I think Axe has been doing a great job farming this game. It's kind of a bit of a rough lane. Not super easy for him to do whatever he wanted, but...
I mean, he's still out farming a Magnus with a Midas at 38 minutes.
Yeah.
That's very impressive. And obviously, I mean, aside from Moon empowering his teammates, it certainly feels like the Axe has had much bigger impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fly solo. Bit far out mid, and Weehaw will almost delete him. Yeah, it's a collected kill for Misery. Probably not the biggest loss, but might prompt a high ground push here. Seems like Planet Odd see an opening, and they will think about a strike. Then they think better of it. They don't want to give up these outer towers. They want that ability to project force around the map, and already Saksa moving into position, setting up, and might be catching Gabby. Oh, that was
very close. Needed vision, I think, for overgrowth to work, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think you need to be able to see.
Yeah, he almost could have just punched him, but...
Oh, no, he lost his invis crossing the chasm was the problem.
You're right.
So
okay.
It's a little hard for him to react to that. But maybe should have been there earlier, but hard to predict when your opponents are going to do stuff like that. They do have a ward on the cliff down to the south, so maybe they could have seen him moving across, but probably just looked like farming.
So about 2 minutes until the next Roche, one that Armel would certainly love to get his hands on. Who do you favor in this upcoming Roche fight right now?
I mean, it should be Planet Odd, but I don't have a lot of faith in how they've been playing right now. They've got to land good RPs. So far, it's been single RPs on heroes that don't really matter very much. So they've got they should have the vision advantage. They've got the Treant Protector, but they also have to deal with an Assassin and very mobile heroes on the enemy team. So I'm sure that Moon has had to be really careful, because if Storm does find him, he's going to be the target.
Keeping eyes on that pit with the Jug illusions. Hanging in the neighborhood, just telegraphing what we already know, which is this next Roche fight could well decide everything. Keep an eye on buyback as well. Armel gonna drop down a Remnant and pop in and out of the pit real quick. Buyback status, there are only 2, a Dragon Knight and a Troll. So nobody really saving for buyback for the most part.
Well, still sitting around as 5. I mean, it's a safe thing to do for sure. Clutch Gamers has pretty good ganking options, as does Planet Odd. Planet Odd's team fight's a little bit better, but they've got to get a good fight. So
this could be a crucial ward. They have a gem right now in Clutch Gamers, but they haven't dewarded this hill, and it might be setting up for Planet Odd.
Yeah, isn't it funny when the most obvious wards become the most useful ones in pro games? It's too easy, right? It's the dumbest ward you could place because everybody expects it, but sometimes it's going to pay off.
Yeah, nobody checking up that hill. And Armel busy farming, so... it could really be the game changer. Potentially, we see them like setting up a smoke from that neighborhood. Normally, it's in your base, but
Roche is controlled by Planet Odd right now. They still haven't gotten the cliff ward to the left, but
it's gonna drop fast though, and they're already on the Roche. But in the mid lane, meanwhile, Weehaw showing himself kind of baiting the Storm out and really setting this Roche up. Do they commit towards it? The top lane's pushing. Bottom lane Troll is not here right now, just beginning his TP. Wants to join the team. No, he's at the lane, so...
They're thinking about it.
They're contesting it. They might try a ball lightning into the pit. Even Armel going to top. They're just now dewarding the hill. Now they can look to come back in, and Weehaw's going to commit. They want the Sages. They want it fast. Storm balling in. Just a bit too late. Summoning his inner Sumail, but the timing not right.
Very quick thinking there by Weehaw, grabbing everything he could. Actually, no, Resolution, excuse me. Grabbed the cheese and the Aegis there. Dropping his blink momentarily, and so finally Planet Odd getting something going their way, but boy was that tense.
Looked like it could have been a catastrophe in the pit, like 1-2 seconds sooner, and
I guess
maybe Storm dies there instead. But
yeah,
he
probably would have had to steal the Aegis respawn and have his team back him up, I guess, but
Yeah, considering how much they probably have to blow at him, though, that could be a one-team fight, but it's all could-have and should-haves and maybes. Planet Odd do snag the Aegis, get the cheese. Clutch Gamer's going to have to wait it out.
It's just amazing how close this game is net worth-wise. Like, it's actually so close. Like, look at those numbers. Very, very Jug-heavy, very Dragonite heavy, but I don't think that matters too much for a Rubik and a... Oh.
Sorry. So I'll take this. I'll add the Haster into my collection, but it's not going to happen.
I should probably turn that off, huh?
No, let's just leave it up the whole game and see how triggered the viewers can get.
Real-time net worth.
Turn on all the overlays, Kevin.
2 different ways looking at worth.
How many can you turn on at once? This is like a one at a time.
One at a time, I think. Oh, they're going to grab Magnet.
Find the opening on the Moon, pulling him back into the remnant. They haven't killed him off just yet. How much does he actually have to commit to this fight, though? Does have the RP available. They might be able to turn this. This could be disastrous for Armel. Lockdown dealt with and finished off. Misery now stealing the ball lightning and looking to turn the fight further. Boombacks now next on the list will end up dropping the TP out from Rappy as he retreats.
That was
scrambling to defend away from that side of the map is Gabby as well.
So next level by Soxa. The speed at which he used Overgrowth there, it's like he knew the ball lightning was coming. And obviously that's what's going to happen, right? Nyx is never going to go in without expecting the follow-up.
Yeah.
But he had that animation going and barely saved him. The ulti into the living armor, into the Leech Seed. Leech Seed got blocked by Lincoln's, but still super sick moves there by Soxa. And great follow-up as well by Moon.
Storm would have loved to have an Aegis for that fight, I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
is very different.
And now he's got Yules on Moon because of that trade, so no more issues with Silence, unless he gets chain stun during it.
Yeah, they'll ideally want like that late game Hex or something, but the farm has slowed down a little bit on the back of these fights. See where they look to go next. Seems Storm wants a BKB. Hard to argue with the need for it because the Dragonite stun, very long duration, but there's still RP, there's still Overgrowth, there's still the Abyssal Blade as well. So BKB, very partial solution this game.
It's definitely scary, but also stops a lot of damage output too.
Oh, they also
Magnus
recovered
stuff
the
like that.
gem, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? You want to join your team? Not so fast. Oh, man. All 5 Clutch Gamers here is in the perfect position to kill a crucial hero out for 90 seconds.
No buyback.
There's RP soon. 15 seconds.
Well,
are they actually going to chance it? Just storm down mid?
Do
they know?
How much time is left on the Aegis for Jug? You want to take a click on his hero?
Yeah, he's still got a minute and a half.
Okay. I think they can defend this. Probably.
But without the Dragonite there, AoE is a bit lacking. Gabby just walks right up the hill, and now the Blade Fury pulled, or sorry, the Berserker's Call pullback. Do they chase Resolution? He goes in. He commits forward. With the Omni Slash Wrap, he's going to desperately BKB. That does not help you against the power of the Samurai, though. He'll end up going down. Meanwhile, Armel being controlled on the backlines. Moon pushing him away from the base. RP, a swing, and a miss. Armel jukes him out, but he doesn't have any mana left to do damage in this fight. Is it going to matter? Gabby chasing onto that Magnus, wants to get some revenge for his fallen comrades, and Armel is going to accommodate here. Finds that follow-up kill. Boomback's going invis. Juking Resolution out. I don't think they can go back in on him. He's a bit too beefy. They get a 2 for 3 overall, though.
A little lucky there for the Jug in that he did get a good Omni Slash. Runs into 4 allies, but they kept following the axe, so he gets the cleanup. And it took a lot of doing to kill the Crystal Maiden, but eventually it works out. And check out his talent tree. He actually grabbed the Blade Fury DPS this game. 20 agility, passed up for 175 Blade Fury DPS. But this does, like, what, 1,500 magic damage over 5 seconds?
If you get a good RP, it's... I mean, then again, cleaving is also pretty devastating during that time.
Attacking would be good also. Does that work? I think you can do that, though, can't you? Does cleave work while you're spinning? I know the hero you're attacking doesn't take damage, unless it's like maybe Diffusal Burn or Maelstrom proc, but I think you might be able to cleave while you're spinning.
Only if they're magic immune, right? Like you can't hit them if they're not, can you? Or did they change that?
No, that's only for the direct hit.
Right.
But I think you might be able to cleave while attacking something, but the thing you're attacking, yeah, Owen's shaking his head. He is the master of mechanics. He did learn today.
He is the Cleave Lord.
He did learn today that agility gives you attack speed, but I'm taking his word for it. I think he knows what he's talking about here. So basically, Jug's a monster right now. If you guys didn't see that from the last fight, and Resolution has been microwaving this perfectly. He's like one of the best attack movers in the game.
But they do have some solutions for this. There's the blind from the Troll Whirling Axes. There's now Butterfly. No MKB and no Bloodthorn on Planet Odd.
Okay.
You're gonna have to trade something on here. We'll see what he does. But when BKB form, this troll is very difficult to kill right now.
I mean, I guess the Heaven's Halberd is pretty solid on Dragon Knight, but he has so much armor and quite a bit of HP. I feel like BKB is obviously great on him, but is it insane to recommend some kind of regen item? Is that just absolutely stupid? Probably, because you need stuns. Oh, they might catch Soxa. No, does opponents carry detection? What is this?
This is
47 minutes in.
There's 2 gems actually in the game. There's one on Rappy right now.
Oh, they see him. Okay.
They're going to spring this trap on Soxa. Nice pick off for Armel. Some food for the Bloodstone charges. And now the engagement forward. Good RP. Omni Slash cleaving through. Nice combination. Can they bring Armel down? He's low. Not dead yet. Controlled, but he gets out. Bowling away to freedom. Gabby gets onto that resolution Juggernaut and starts to get to work. Has the bashes, but now the Dragon Knight controlling him in turn. Boombacks. Trying to wait these BKBs out. Healing Ward keeps resolution in fighting shape. Now the Bash Lord duel commences, but Planet Odd have to back down. They lose 3. Their cores survive, but so too do all of Clutch Gamers. The Clutch Gamers coming out on top and I believe took the gem back, so they now have the gem power play.
Okay, well, these fights are so weird. It's like both carries can't kill each other because they're both so tanky, so much armor, evasion issues, but boy can they kill the support. So it's like they just take turns wrecking each other, and if they don't get like an Omni Slash kill during the Magnus RP, then it just seems so difficult for Planet Odd to actually win the fights.
Yeah, Resolution says, fuck this, and just buys the MKB straight up.
Instantly sell the Diffusal
Blade.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah. At this point, the Diffusal Blade...
It's good against CM.
The Orchid, I guess?
No, I mean, you can't use it against yourself anymore, so it doesn't work against Orchid. And it was definitely good against Ghost Scepter on the Crystal Maiden. He used that for a kill once, but past that, yeah, MKB is definitely the way to go. Not to mention it does magic, and there's a lot of armor flying around in this game, so I think it'll be way better. And Troll has a Butterfly. You need MKB right now, actually.
Clutch Gamers on the hunt here in the top lane. Did they find anyone? Boombacks leading the charge. Remember, they have the gem advantage, and they're going to scout out Soxa, but Soxa, he's got good old-fashioned sentry wards. Pops one at the perfect time, and now put an odd pounce, skewering him back into the waiting arms of Weehaw. They will get that kill. Much needed, and quickly, Clutch Gamers scurry away.
I think Dragon Knight needs an MKB as well, actually. Like, I don't think he can get away with not having this. I think he has to sell Halberd possibly and grab it. Or I guess it could be Armlet. You could sell Armlet and get it. But if you look at Troll Warlord, he's got Butterfly. That's 35% evasion. If you get hit with Whirling Axes, that's 60%. And you went for the cooldown perk on that. So that's 5-second uptime. 5-second cooldown, it lasts for 7. It means he can permanently blind for 60% mischance. Like, you cannot live with that, I don't think.
This is a huge opportunity. They found the Storm. They want the Lightning Lord, but the RP follow-up also going to net them an Axe who was trying to interrupt that chain of initiation. No buyback on the Storm. This could crumble quickly. Fly Solo waiting in the trees, has the ultimate. Just get them on it for it now. Cleaving through is Weehaw, but Gabby gets to work. Manages to take one back down with them. Support's getting wrecked, as you said, Kevin. Fly Solo chilling in the trees the whole time, and Nyx now respawning and rejoining the fight. Crystal Maiden, space created. The team is coming in. Storm's going to respawn in 10. I think Planet Odd need to get back. This Nyx is looking for the setup. He's going to find Moon. Carapace is there, but the Omni Slash coming through will follow him even through the Force and does net them an additional kill, bringing things back into equilibrium. And now at least one gem on Odd, if not both. I think the other on the Courier? Maybe they got both back.
That just took some time. Oh, Magnus grabs it, but no Yules, no cheese.
He's carrying 2 gems. This is quite the bounty. Armel gets 1, and...
There's not enough slots in the game.
While that was happening, Gabby just got destroyed bottom lane. I guess got caught out by Resolution and the blink initiation from Weehaw. So
he's just everywhere. I was just seeing a Resolution toward the north. Look at these couriers like running in. Can I get a gem?
My gem, no.
And they decided to do the fair thing. Storm only grabbed 1, left the other one there. I thought maybe he'd like pocket his Lincolns to grab both. Like, seems a mistake to
some communist Dota,
give
Kevin.
One back, but
very Russian.
DK does have 6k gold. By the way, he's also queued up a Daedalus. This is dangerous. I think if this guy gets a Daedalus, he's throwing the game.
No MKB, huh?
I just... This is very throwy, I think. Yes, he's going to be... Okay, thank God. Oh, he's just messing with us, guys. He bought the Javelins. Oh.
Just checking if you're doing your job.
I guess so. Buy one afterwards if you want. I don't care. But you got to get an MKB this game.
Morel's been losing Bloodstone charges at a fairly alarming rate. I think at one point it was at 27, now down to just 15.
How do you know he didn't just buy a new one? Maybe he didn't like the number 27.
Well, judging by the item progression slowing down, maybe he did. But
He's almost got Bloodthorn if you want.
Bloodthorn is close.
Just, wants to buy back. He's actually got a lot of surplus, 1.9. I think he's got it if he wants it.
All right, well, this is going to be tough now. Another Aegis, another Cheese, Planet Odd. Surely this is the time with the double damager and the lanes pushing to go for some sort of siege play.
Moon's going to stack the Cheese. He didn't want to, but he did it. It's a 40-second cooldown, by the way. So
I mean, this is a guy who bought 28-minute Midas. I'm pretty sure he wants lots of things for himself.
And since then, a Yule's and a Force Staff. And 2,000 gold.
He's playing the Long Kong.
Yes, the Ultra Long Kong. It's like, Resolution, carry me so long that my Midas will pay off. It's worth it. Ooh, I love this play. The ward right onto the tower. Hard to right-click, and gets great vision. God, he hits so hard right now with the DD, though.
Resolution working on that tower and rapidly bringing it down, even as eating the Moon Shards. This is truly a Godzilla juggernaut if I've ever seen one. They are going to Blade Mail, look to pull him in with the Berserker's Call, but Rappy taking all kinds of terrible damage, and now the game can't even handle that level of aggression as it boots me out. So I'll try to cast off of your screen here. Gabby, with the Aegis now popping, they're going to go for round 2. They have lost Resolution to start this fight. Armel balling around as BKB is going to be wearing off soon. The Storm Spirit's in trouble. They get the lift off. He's got to jump away. Resolution comes back, still all 5 alive here, as Planet Odd continues their siege. Stun onto Rappy. They do have the buyback of the Crystal Man. They're engaging onto Weeha. Weeha could be in danger here. Getting this Dragon Knight kill would be absolutely massive. Fly Solo's back into the front. Oh, they get the dunk number 1. They're looking for dunk number 2. Trio Protector trapped in his own friendly trees will have himself decapitated. Now they look for more. Balling forward out of mana. They'll TP onto the mid lane. He's got the BOTs. Can he cut them off at the pass? He certainly wants to. Gabby charging in. Blinking on forward. Finds Misery as well. He gets thrown up in the air. Though that Yule Scepter paying off. It's all the Midas power plays that he needed. Now Misery just barely protected by the trees. Armel gets trapped, but still Gabby able to lock onto him, finishes him off in the end. Buyback status is decent for Planet Odd, but they did not even get a lane of racks. Clutch Gamers have held.
How many buybacks
There's no RP, there's no Overgrowth, there's no Omni Slash, and Clutch Gamers basically have no important cooldowns, right? So maybe this is actually an advantage for Clutch Gamers now.
It looks like. I mean, if they're having this much trouble actually winning a team fight, I mean,
not over yet, but this could be a big skewer. Gabby has the BKB. He's got to use it very defensively. Resolution gets on him with the Abyssal Blade. The Blink Call from Rappy, a bit off the mark. Now they lock him down. Balling forward, though. Armel has free reign in this fight. Onto the Rubik he goes. Can he get that first kill? No, he's a bit too tanky. They just have to disengage. They've lost their troll out for a minute and a half.
And that was 2 buybacks in that last fight. The Axe as well as the Crystal Maiden. Not the most important, but definitely can pay off. The fight started so bad for them. It was a Axe Blink Call on Juggernaut. Juggernaut went down to about 40%. He gets the Omni Slash off. It resulted in a dead Axe. It looked really good for Planet Odd. But ultimately, they worked on the Dragon Knight. They got him low enough, and it paid off. I'm kind of wondering if he shouldn't have gotten the 2x Dragon Blood regen armor. I kind of feel like the movement speed's really value, but maybe I'm wrong on that one.
Just for the catch potential.
There's so many stuns, though, so maybe he's done the right thing here.
And right back onto the high ground. Once more onto the breach. Planet Odd going for that first lane of Brax. 55 minutes. Not often you see this long before structures go down, but he hasn't quite taken it yet. And the Storm threatens for a jump. Still no buyback committed by the Troll. Planet Odd want to force this out. At this point, maybe worth giving up 1 melee to hold the buyback. Resolution's going to try to force the answers to that question. Gets the Blink Call, and now the buyback comes. Troll looking to rejoin the fight. Ball lighting onto the background. Armel looking for the follow-up, and Gabby commits as well. He's not able to bring down Moon, and now he's going to tank the full Omni Slash. The MKB paying huge dividends here. Resolution gets the follow-up he needs. Moon's there with the RP from the high ground. The Crystal Maiden ult doing a decent amount of work, but not enough. They've lost the Storm. They've lost the Troll. That's a dieback for him, and the Storm looking to rejoin the fray, but I think it's a bit too late. And a bridge too far for Clutch Gamers to recover from this. 4 down, no buybacks. Planet Odd salvaged, saved, but barely. This was a very shaky win. Make no mistake about it.
And the crazy part as well is that they had a lot of gold advantage for a lot of the late game, but their team fights were just so difficult to take. But that last one was perfect by them. The Yule's on the Axe as soon as he jumps in. That nullifies one hero completely. Weehaw hits the back line, interrupts the CM, and just made it cake. But it took 56 minutes, excuse me. It was not an easy win.
It still doesn't feel like a team that essentially took second place at TI, right? And this is a far cry from that old Digital Chaos squad. They are missing Sunsfan, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, and they've been kind of on and off. They obviously won ESL Genting in January, but since then, it's been very inconsistent. Kiev Major went bad, and this is looking on the edge.
It is a win. They take a map. They finally lead a series, their first time at this event. But I mean, I feel like Clutch Gamers could have just as easily had that game with 1 or 2 fights going their way.
Yeah, definitely agree. They kept the farm up. They played effectively. Just I think maybe they needed to get their supports to 6 a little bit